Hello dear students, welcome to this videocast from Army Public School Delhi Cant. This is your teacher Mrs. Suja Matthew from the Geography Department of the Senior Wing. This video is on the chapter India Location from Class 11th NCERT book India Physical Environment. Students, you are all aware and familiar with the map of India. Today, India has a total of 28 states and 9 union territories. The latest addition being the Union Territory of Ladakh and the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. You should also be aware of all the other union territories of India along with their capitals. As a student of class 11th, you should be familiar with not only all the states of India but their capitals as well. You should also be familiar with certain other facts like which is the largest state of our country, Rajasthan, the smallest state of our country, Goa, the easternmost state of our country, Arunachal Pradesh, westernmost state of our country, Gujarat, southernmost state, Tamil Nadu, and so on. In this chapter, we will be including the following subtopics: location of India, size, extent, implication of India's latitudinal extent, implication of India's longitudinal extent, the Indian subcontinent, India in the Eastern world, and India and its neighbors. India's location in the world. There are 7 continents, which all of you know from your previous knowledge, and these include North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Australia, Asia, and Antarctica. India, as you can see, is located in the continent of Asia. So, in which hemisphere is India located? Now, in order to know that, you need to understand the equator. 0 degrees is the equator, and India is located to the north of the equator. Similarly, India is also located to the east of the prime meridian. Since India is located to the north and to the east of the equator and prime meridian respectively, so we can say that India is located in the northeastern hemisphere. So what is the size of India? Now, India is a large country. It has a total area of about 3.28 million square kilometers, which is about 2.4% of the total geographical area of the world. This makes India the 7th largest country. These are the countries which are larger in size as compared to India: Russia, Canada, the USA, China, Brazil, and Australia. When we talk about the extent of India, we can look at the latitudinal and longitudinal extent. So, you can say that India extends from 37 degrees 6 minutes north to 8 degrees 4 minutes north. However, when we go beyond the mainland of India, then we look into Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which is a part of our country. It is located at 6 degrees 7 minutes north. So, the southernmost point of our country is the Indira Point, which is located at 6 degrees 4 minutes north. Here we have the longitudinal extent. As you can see, India is located at 68 degrees 7 minutes east and 97 degrees 25 minutes east longitude. Roughly, the latitudinal extent and longitudinal extent of India corresponds to about 30 degrees. However, its north-south extent from Kashmir to Kanyakumari is 3,214 kilometers, whereas the east-west extent of India is 2,933 kilometers. So you can see that India has a longer north-south extent as compared to its east-west extent. Why does this happen? This happens, children, because the distance between two latitudes will remain the same. However, the distance between two longitudes goes on decreasing as we move towards the poles. So now we need to understand that if India has a 30-degree of longitudinal extent, how does that impact the country as a whole? One of the first thing is the climatic impact. India can be divided into two climatic zones. Here, you can see the Tropic of Cancer passing through the middle of the country. It is cutting across the states of Gujarat, some part of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura, and Mizoram. So it's cutting across the center of our country, dividing our country into two climatic zones. North of the Tropic of Cancer is the subtropic, and south of the Tropic of Cancer is the tropical climate. The tropical climate remains hot throughout the year. Temperatures are high throughout the year, whereas the subtropical climate will witness seasons such as winters and summers. The second impact of a vast latitudinal extent is in the length of day and night. You can see over here that the earth rotates as well as revolves around the sun, and in doing so it experiences different seasons. This seasonality gives rise to difference in the length of day and night. Look at this picture in your screen. Here, the circle of illumination is dividing the globe into two halves. The lit up part is showing the day, and the darkened half is showing the night. So you can see here that at the equator, the length of day and the length of night is more or less equal. That means 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. However, as we are going towards the north, what do we see? We see that the length of day goes on becoming longer and longer. This is obviously because the globe is facing towards the sun, and hence the northern hemisphere is experiencing summers, whereas the southern part of the globe is away from the sun, and hence it's experiencing winters. Hence, what do we see? We see that there are some parts of the southern hemisphere which is completely in the darkness, so 6 months of night. What does this impact on India? The impact of length of day and night can be seen in this map. As we move from the south to the north, we will notice that the length of day and night will vary. While in southern parts of our country, the length of day and night will more or less remain the same. As we go to the north, the length of day and night will vary depending upon which season it is. That means there will be longer days during summer and shorter days during winters. Children, the impact of a vast latitudinal extent can also be seen in the flora. So India has a huge variety of plant life in terms of evergreen forest, deciduous forest, tropical thorn and scrub, mountainous forest, and so on. Coming to the various kinds of animal life, we have a variety in terms of fauna as well. So you can see the snow leopard, the Royal Bengal tiger, the elephant, and so on. A vast latitudinal extent also impacts the culture of our country. So we have a variety of cultural life, and this is seen in terms of people's housing pattern, the food habits, their dressing styles, and so on. Let us now move over to the implication of India's longitudinal extent. Since India has 30 degrees of longitude, therefore, this results in a time difference of 2 hours. In our country, we have two time zones. Each time zone is of 15 degree of longitude. Since it takes 4 minutes, it takes 4 minutes for the earth to cover 1 degree longitude. So it takes about 15 degree of longitude for the earth to cover in 1 hour. And by 2 hours, it covers 30 degree of longitude. As a result, there is a time difference of 2 hours. So when it is 5 o'clock in the easternmost part of our country, it is still 3 o'clock in Saurashtra, that is the westernmost part of our country. The world has about 24 time zones, children, and India is about 5 hours 30 minutes ahead of the prime meridian. This brings us to the concept of the Indian subcontinent. The Indian subcontinent comprises of the following neighboring countries: Pakistan, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Maldives, and Sri Lanka. All our neighboring countries together form the Indian subcontinent. Owing to India's huge size, there is a diversity in terms of its physical features. So in the north, we have the Great Himalayas. In the east, we have the Purvanchal. In the west, the Sulaiman Range. The west is also known for the Thar Desert, which acts as a great physical barrier. And of course, then we have the Indian Ocean in the south. So together, all these physical features provide a great barrier which makes India stand distinct from the rest of Asia, which is why India is known as a subcontinent or a mini continent. If you look at India's position in Asia, children, we will notice that India has a south central position, and this south central position is of huge advantage to her. If we look at the position of India in Asia, then we can see that India has a very long coastline. It has a coastline of about 6,100 kilometers if we look at the mainland, and if we include the island groups, it's 7,517 kilometers. So a long coastline comes with a lot of benefit. Most of our trade is carried through these sea routes, both along the western and eastern side. India also has a lot of air routes by which it is connected with the western and eastern countries. As told to you earlier, children, India has got 7 neighboring countries, of which India shares its land boundary with Pakistan, Afghanistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. Have you wondered ever that with which country does India have its longest borders? So if you look at the map, probably you may not really realize it, because Bangladesh is surrounded by India on all sides. And hence, if you look at this table, you understand that we have about 4,096 kilometers boundary with Bangladesh. So India shares its longest boundary with Bangladesh. So that's about it, children, in this module. And I hope you have understood the major concepts of this chapter, wherein we have spoken about not only India's location, its size, its extent. We've also seen the implication of India's latitude and longitude, and finally its relations with neighboring countries. Thank you.